the release of the body cam video of the shooting of 13-year-old Adam Toledo.
Yeah, and joining us right now is former law enforcement officer and criminal justice instructor Mike Brown. I want to thank you this morning for coming on the show to give our viewers some perspective.
Thank you for having me.
Well, last night you told our viewers here on Fox 32 that you watched this video, and while it is very tragic, you say it is unquestionable that this was a justified shooting. Talk to us about why you believe that, and what do you want the people to know, the viewers out there, to know about those split-second decisions that an officer has to make?
What we have to look at from Illinois law, as I quoted yesterday, 720 ILCS 5, Section 7-1, your viewers are free to look it up. It states that as it relates to deadly force, a person is justified in the use of deadly force when they reasonably believe that in order to prevent that, their force, their deadly force that they will use can stop someone's imminent use of deadly force. Okay, that's state law. You have Tennessee versus Gardner and Graham versus Connor, which talks about objective reasonableness and the totality of those circumstances. I also want to break it down to circumstances where we understand. When that officer told you to stop, it's important for you to stop. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the safety needs, in order for us to get to problem solving, let's find out if he had a gun, which the video shows that he did. It was a Ruger P89. I owned it. In order for us to get to problem solving, which is the highest level of self-actualization, everyone must be secure. When little Adam is running, when the officer is running, they both have their own health conditions that begin to rise. Your pulse begins to rise. Your breathing becomes labored. And the more stressed out you are, you get to what's called the sensory nervous system dump, where your body prepares itself during that for the fight or flight response. You are not thinking according to the prefrontal cortex. You are in the amygdala. Everyone is reacting. And you can't tell me logic and reaction happen at the same time. It does not. We have to teach our children, regardless of race, that no matter whether it's a parent who is an authority figure or whether it's a police officer who's an authority figure, when you are told to stop, everybody must stop so we can all calm down, so that the right part of the brain can be activated so we can all problem solve.
You're very articulate. That's a lot to digest. I want to ask you about a common refrain that I was hearing yesterday. They shot a kid. They killed a kid. Now, we know more about the victim than we did before, a 7th grader at Gary Elementary School. But take our viewers into that alley at the heat of that foot pursuit. Does the officer know who he's chasing? Does he have any inclination how old Adam Toledo was?
When your viewers can answer the question of what a 13-year-old kid looks like, then we can best determine that a big 13 or a small 13. No one is able to look at someone and get an exact age. We can approximate it, but look at people. I don't want to say little people, but let's look at people who are older in age but smaller in stature. So that's why in that moment he's running. He looks like someone who's tall, or someone who could be an adult. The bottom line is we will never know that. He's running very fast, telling him to stop multiple times, shines his light. And as he's shining his light to get a better view of it, he's not able to determine that age. And so as he's running, as he's telling him to stop, little Adam, God bless his heart, he had a decision to make to stop as well. And so when you don't comply with those obvious, loud requests to stop, things can happen, unfortunately.
Well, and you look at that fence there that he's running alongside, that is about a 6-foot-high fence, and he's almost near the top of it. So that gives you an idea of Adam Toledo's height. I want to ask you about the officer's weapon in this case. He is using some sort of strobe light. Why do officers use that strobe light, and does that affect this situation in like this?
It affects the situation greatly. Us officers in other areas, we tend to kind of make fun of Chicago police because they're now catching up to what we've always had. He has a Streamlight TLR HL1. I have that same model and have carried that same model on my firearm, as does the Illinois State Police. And they finally started to add those lights to their firearms, because when you're in those low light situations, darkness also increases that fear. And so when we are now able to see that he had something in his hand, what looks like a firearm, because of that officer's light. ask yourself this question. But not for that light, we would never know what he had and would have probably made the decision to shoot him even sooner, much faster.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. Mike Brown, again, your expertise is almost unparalleled in situations like this. We genuinely appreciate you sharing your knowledge with our viewers. Thank you so much.
Very humbled by your comments. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mike. All right.